What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Diction. Welcome back to another COD Mobile Blueprint episode. So today's going to be quite a monumental one because for the first time ever, we are going to be reviewing a Legacy Blueprint. So I did go over this like last week, I believe, talking about the new Legacy Blueprint and what I thought it was going to be. And more or less, most of the stuff that I was predicting was kind of confirmed. So basically the Legacy skin is supposed to be a tier that's in between a legendary and a mythic skin. The way this gun was distributed was a lot different compared to a normal lucky draw. And this has happened before. We got a lucky wheel for the Mac 10 Dragon's Might, but I think this time around, I think for mainly Legacy skins, we're going to have this type of, draw format going forward. And personally, I don't really have a lot of problems with this draw because more or less it costs the same amount as a mythic draw. The only difference is that you don't actually have to upgrade your legacy weapon. It already comes built in with a lot of different features. But as for the lucky wheel itself, it does provide more rewards than your normal lucky draw. You actually do get some mythic cards as well as just other blueprints, other trinkets such as, frames, calling cards, all that stuff. I think I've already mentioned calling cards, but yeah, you guys get the point. Not only that, you do get a new blueprint series, at least for this draw, which is called the Comrade Skins. So they have the big Comrade, the little Comrade, as well as the tiny Comrade. So they're all based on what category of a weapon the blueprint is on. So for example, the big Comrade is for the RPD, the little Comrade is for the RUS, and the tiny Comrade is for the Renetti. All blueprints which I'm going to be reviewing at a later time. But based on the amount of rewards that we do get for this type of draw, I mean, we get far more stuff than a mythic. So I would say that this lucky wheel, as expensive as it is, well, pretty much just as expensive as like a character or a mythic character or even a mythic draw, provides a lot more rewards. So quickly, how the draw works is you do 5 spins, you unlock a key that unlocks a spin in the inner circle that has the main rewards. Of course, just kind of like the lucky draw. And again, like the price is more or less the same as a full regular lucky draw. Nothing really crazy. I thought it was gonna be a lot more expensive than that, but my friend was kind of giving it the benefit of the doubt because he did get the Mac 10 Dragon's Might earlier, but I did warn him that this is a different tier of skin. So obviously, yeah, it might have been easier to get a legendary skin from that wheel, but of course it might be a lot harder if it's a legacy weapon. And given that all the features that are provided with this legacy skin for the Type 25, it was kind of understandable why they had to lower the odds. So the Type 25 PHEONIX Inferno, obviously this skin is not technically new. It's new for this game, but it's not new in terms of the Call of Duty series because this skin actually originated from Black Ops Cold War for the QBZ assault rifle, and this was actually one of the mastercrafts. This kind of confirms that the QBC assault rifle from Cold War may not actually be coming into, COD Mobile at all. And that's mainly because we probably have like a lot of bullpup weapons that kind of resemble that one, so it might be pointless to add something like that at this point. So the PHEONIX Inferno does provide a lot of features that the Mythic would normally provide, such as tracer rounds, physical animations, as well as a different custom inspection. Of course, with these features, they're not exactly the same caliber as Mythics. For example, the tracer rounds, while they are existing with this weapon, it doesn't necessarily look a lot more noticeable than it would on a Mythic. So when you're actually shooting the PHEONIX Inferno, yes, the tracer is there, but it's hardly noticeable, but it does hit the wall with this, I guess the bullets explode when you hit the wall or something else, but more or less, yeah, that's it. It's there, but again, not really too noticeable. As for the physical animations, there are two. One when you're inspecting the weapon, when you put the key into, I guess, that little lock on the side of the gun. The bird, I guess the statue of the bird does have its, beak open up, and that's basically it. It does like this little screech. And then the second animation is actually the stone that's in the center of the weapon. It's very reminiscent to the Peacekeeper artifact. As for the visual effects, like the outer stuff, I mean, it looks absolutely incredible. I mean, I would say it's like a lot more flashier than it is with a legendary and sometimes even a mythic. The only funny thing I find with this weapon is that when this thing is fully, when it's in its final reactive state, it is kind of creepy because you while you're aiming, that bird's literally staring into your soul. But yeah, I mean, that's not really much of a major problem. But one thing that we do have to discuss is the iron sight. So for most legendaries and mythics nowadays, the iron sights are usually very good. Like it doesn't really convince people not to buy legendary skins for the most part. But I will say with this one, it's a little bit of a hit or miss type of thing. And, you know, I'm going to give them some slack since this is the first legacy weapon, or maybe they didn't want to change too much of the original Mastercraft blueprint from Cold War. But yeah, the iron sight, it's a little tough to get used to, but once you do, it's actually pretty good. But weirdly enough, I have found that it's actually pretty easy to take people off head glitches when you use this iron sight for some reason. Like I've literally lasered people off of them. So now I guess we could discuss about the reload animation and the death effects. So the death effect first, obviously it's just like a phoenix just kind of, I guess, raining down on the enemy. It looks pretty quick. It's very brief, which is actually a good thing. It doesn't overstay its welcome so much to the point where it becomes a distraction if there's ever an enemy that's behind the one that you just killed. So for the reload animation, it's nothing really crazy. It's just slightly different from the original one. It looks a lot more, I guess, of a natural type of reload. I mean, both reloads are kind of natural, but yeah, it has, I guess, the reload of the QBZ, I'm assuming. So like I said, the Phoenix Inferno does have a lot of features that the Mythic has, but the only exceptions I could say are just, you know, the fact that it doesn't have multiple death effects, nor does it have, very noticeable tracer rounds like Mythics normally would. And another thing that I did also forget to take into account is also the fact that it doesn't have, I guess the same amount of attachment skins that a mythic normally would have. But I'm actually quite surprised how they were able to balance out legendary features with mythic features at the same time without making like a lot of people feel like mythics weren't worth it anymore after this. And in some ways I still kind of feel like that is the case because, you know, the way that the gun is, like the way that the features are there with the gun, it kind of feels like that's what mythics should have been in the first place. The only difference this time around is that you don't actually have to pay for any of like the tracer round features or anything like that. At the end of the day, I mean, this thing is absolutely insane. I love using it. I've been using it for a few hours at this point, and for the most part, even the draw itself, as again, it's not much more expensive than a normal mythic or just regular legendary draw. It's nothing that crazy. And I'm just happy that it does provide you some extra stuff like more mythic cards. I think it got like at least 100 or maybe 200 at the most. So I could use that for like my next mythic. So it does provide a lot of rewards, including 3 blueprints that change the actual physical appearance of the 3 guns that are associated with those blueprints. So that's something that I could say that that draw format is far better than what we get with like normal mythic draws or even legendary draws. So I'm hoping that they kind of keep this format because you get a lot more out of it. But yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe for some more COD mode content. I'll see you guys next time.